almost turned off the camera there. That's not what I want to do. Welcome back to Guitar Toots, where I'm tootsing you on the guitar again. So, basically for this one, the first thing you want to do, tune down to drop D, standard tuning with your low string, tuned from an E to a D. Something like that, at least anyway. I'm a little out of tune, but for the purposes of this video, I don't really care that much. So first thing you're going to do is 2 low D string strums, and then 8th fret to the 10th fret on your A string, with a D in the middle. So there's a little crossing around going there, so slower. That's the 7th fret. You can see my headstock there, way over there. I'm going to make it a little bit better for context-wise. So that's a little pentatonic sort of thing. Just remember that there's an 8th fret in there, so when you do it, 7th fret, 5th fret, 8th fret, and then 5th fret on that next string up. It's kind of hard to do slowly. I'm sure you feel my pain on that. Also, when the camera's pointing at me, it's a weird phenomenon. Camera points at me and I can no longer play. And I don't know, that must just be me, because I've never heard of anybody else going through that. Wink, wink. So I'll turn my volume back on so you can hear that a little slower. Right? And then starts on the 8th fret on this low string, I think. Yeah. So 8th, and then this climbing scale. Volume on. This next part's where it kind of gets a little complicated and can be a little tricky. Trips me up all the time. I'll probably mess it up here, so if you mess it up, don't even worry about it. Right? So it's, that part's easy. 6th fret, pull off to 5th fret, over to the 7th fret on your G string. So this is all on your B string. That's where it gets tricky. There's a little bit of a kind of string skipping that you need to do. So after the little... So the timing of it is also a little bit odd. You got to remember to go immediately into that part. So... and it always messes with me, like I said. So, you know, just keep practicing it and you'll get it, I'm sure. That's pretty much the bass line of the first part of the intros. And then it goes back to the kind of first part again. This is where it's a little bit different. You're going to do the same climbing scale, but you're going to add another 8th fret in there. Picked only for the purposes of illustrating the notes. So I'll do it again. All together, I'm going to do it a little slower than what Will actually plays it, but here's what the bass line should sound like. More or less, other than some timing issues, that's basically it. That's all the notes, and that's all you need. The next part that it's going to jump into is going to be the Someone Please, which is just power chord of your open strings, your bottom 3 open strings, or top 3 depending on how you think about the guitar. I like to think about the bottom string being the lower notes. Some people like to think of the bottom string being the higher notes, but the lower on the body of the guitar. So, semantics. If I am confusing, I apologize. Anyhow, so one more time, shall we? Someone please! So that's 3rd fret power chord. On your A string, that's 7th fret, which is also open if you wanted to do it that way. I like to do it because it's a little easier for the next part. While this is happening, there's another section going on top of it. And there's 2 guitar parts here, really, if you think about it. So it's a double stop octavitis, where you're playing the note, and it's octave with the note in the middle muted. So 7th fret, 8th fret, 10th fret, and then that's all. That's all there is to it. So that's just a open power chord, 3rd fret power chord, 7th fret power chord, 8th fret power chord. That's happening underneath at the same time. That's happening. So, yeah, that's really that part. The next little bit, super easy again. Same power chords, not even a power chord, octave, just a little bit faster picking. Okay, so 7th, 8th, 10th, and then there's this little jumpy bit. Let's go up to 15th. What is it here? So 15th, and again, you were doing octaves this whole time. So the note and the octave above it, which is just a power chord minus the middle note. So 15th fret, 12th fret, 10th fret, back up to the 15th fret, back down to the 7th fret. So that's the 12th fret. So, and I'm just muting everything else with that middle finger, so that's why I'm resting it across. I'm resting it kind of across. It's just muting everything else. That way I can kind of hit all the strings and not worry about extra sound coming through. Kind of like a fret wrap, but using my own hand. Repeat. And that's not actually the way that it's timed. I just want to be clear. You got to listen to the song for the counting and the actual timing. This is just going to give you the notes. I'm going to put up a video separately of me actually playing through the song. I get the timing wrong when I play it through as well, but it still sounds fine. So, you know, do what you want to do with it, really. Make it your own. Yeah, so the next part. 5th fret, 3rd fret. So that whole section. All right, next part that's kind of difficult. It's just going to be your open D, and then your 13th, and then this is 14th frets on your B and G string. So 13th B, 14th G. Sorry, I have to remember it here. It's been a while since I played this song. 17th fret, pull off to 13th fret. And then that's your, oh Jesus, my eyes. That's your 15th fret. So, fuck, I'm losing track of where I even am here. Okay, 17th. This is where it kind of gets a little tricky. Really listen to it and count as well when you're listening to the song. I realize I'm kind of jumping all over the place here, but So it's 3, 3, and then 2 if you're counting the like the bass alternations. Anyway. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right? And then if you're counting in threes, you're gonna get it just fine. It's in some sort of multiple of 3 times signature. I've never really bothered trying to count, but that's how you're going to count that little run. And then it ends on 2. There's a gap, and then we're back to doing octaves. This time on the 12th fret, starting on the A string. So 12th slide up to 15th, 10th slide up to 12th, and then down to the 5th. I'm going to hold that for a whole measure, and then back up to the 12th. And then he does this little bend that you can just kind of feel out in here. I like the way that it sounds when you do only one of the two, and it kind of throws off your interval between the two, so you get that really, really punchy sort of tone between them. I really like that. I don't know if that's really what he does, but that's what it sounds like to me, and so that's what I do. Then it just does it again. This time he's going to go 5th fret and then slide down to 3rd fret twice. And then you're going to hold that because that's going to go right into what you're stretching is basically you're doing a half bend, a bend of a half step, because the next note is what you're bending to. It's the 13th fret with the octave. So 13th, passing note on the 15th down to the 10th, so. That's the 8th. Down to the 7th, all the way back up to the 15th, back to the 13th. What is that next part? Sorry, I gotta do this kind of in order. Alright, hopefully that was helpful. Just kidding, I'll go into it. Okay, so like I said, we already did that part. Repeat. This time. 7th fret down to the 3rd fret, and then back up again. As long as you're playing in key, you're probably fine. And I've never really figured this part out, so I don't usually play it. I usually just do the... which is just an open D string and then the 1st fret, doing a power chord with a pull-off. And you can try to time that out by listening to what John is saying and then just kind of time it out with the where he emphasizes the notes. But there is something else going on there too, and it's again a little case of octavitis. While they're doing that, somebody on the guitar is doing something on the octave. I don't really know what they're doing. I've never tried to pick that out. I usually just do the one guitar part, but feel free to listen for it, and that's really what they're doing. So if you start on that 7th fret on your G string, you're going to be getting pretty close to where you should be. All right, and then that just keeps going. Fair enough, right? Easy, super just chuggy open strings. What the fuck is the next part? Oh yeah, it does this thing again. Easier though this time because you're not doing all the stuff. You're just doing just the notes, just the 13th fret and the 14th fret. This part is where, and again, this happens earlier on in the song as well. It's still going to do the... But there's another layer underneath that I think is really, really neat and adds some flavor. It's a harmonic with the power chord, so the 5th above it. And I think that's really, really, really neat. I think that was a really cool little bit of flavor to add to it. This happens over the whole thing. So what that is, it's the same notes as what you were doing there, but use that harmonic. So that's that 17th fret pull off again. Remember when you were doing... That's all you're doing. Hold on that note, and then there's arguably the third most complicated part of the song, which is, let's see if I remember how to play. There it is. So it's going to be on the D and the octave, so right up to the 12th fret. That's the 14th fret on the next string, 13th fret, 17th fret, 13th fret. And then this is going to be open to 12th fret again. Open, 12th fret, 12th fret, 14th fret, 12th fret, 12th fret. 10th fret, 12th fret, 14th fret, 12th fret, 10th fret. And then on the last time, you just kind of mash it. And then the whole last section of the song that I do isn't even in the song. So you can do whatever you want at that last part. I just like to mash the D pentatonic. I don't know, something like that anyways. What I do doesn't make any sense, but once you're after that whole section where he's doing all the high stuff and there's all the chaos and everything going on, the last 3 notes. Open D power chord on your bottom 3 strings. Easy enough, right? Alright, I hope this was helpful. I'm sorry if it wasn't, but you know, that's just the way life goes sometimes. Sometimes it goes and sometimes it doesn't go, and that's just the way she goes. See you next time.